Let's take a closer look at the story with Mohamad Elmasry, a professor of media studies at the Doha Institute for Graduate Studies, and he's joining us from Minneapolis in the U.S. Professor, good to have you on the program. So we've got less than a few hours before the new year starts. At this point, it doesn't look like Hezbollah is going to disarm. What happens if the group doesn't?
Well, things are very tense and very fragile. I mean, this has been a fragile state of affairs really from the start. And most Israeli ceasefires are fragile almost by nature. I mean, Israel interprets all of the ceasefires that they sign as being sort of one-sided, and so they interpret it as, the other side has to stop firing, but there's no obligation on them to stop firing. And as the United Nations has documented, there have been hundreds and hundreds of attacks since the ceasefire was signed, attacks by Israel on Lebanon. And as you noted, and as that package that preceded this interview noted, the rhetoric has been escalated in recent days. So I think there is real fear that that there will be a more significant and sustained Israeli bombardment, especially given the fact that it is very, very unlikely that Hezbollah will agree to disarm completely. South of the Litani River is one thing, but throughout Lebanon is an entirely different matter. So it's very tense right now.
Certainly tense indeed. And Professor, what does a significant escalation from Israel actually look like? Because some would say that if those Israeli attacks have continued, which they have, despite the ceasefire, as you noted, why then should Hezbollah give up their arms or do anything to placate, if we can call it that, Israel, when they know that Tel Aviv will just continue to attack them and certain parts of southern Lebanon?
Right. I mean, that's a good question. In many ways, it almost seems like Israel does not want Hezbollah to disarm. I really think that if Hezbollah were to announce, or if the Lebanese government were to announce tomorrow that it successfully disarmed Hezbollah completely, I actually think that the Israelis would be disappointed because they want to use these Hezbollah weapons, even though they're not being used, even though there's no threat against Israel. They want to use this as a pretext for their bombardment, and also I think for their continued occupation of Lebanese territory. And all eyes should be on the Greater Israel project. I always bring that up in interviews that I do and in articles that I write, because I think it's central to understanding what Israel is doing, not just in Lebanon, but also in Syria and in the West Bank and in Gaza. This is an expansionist state. This is not some unspoken secret. They're talking about it openly. They want to be able to expand their borders in line with their sort of biblical interpretation, and I think that's what drives part of what Israel is doing.
Certainly a project that they won't be giving up soon, despite any sort of international pressure. But what does this also all mean for domestic politics in Lebanon? You've got a Lebanese army that's just not as strong as Hezbollah, and it's already a country that's quite fragmented politically and domestically.
Well, that's part of the problem. I mean, everyone in Lebanon is weak, right? Hezbollah is weak. Their position has been compromised significantly, and they've also been compromised by the fact that Iran has been weakened. But the Lebanese government is weak, and they've been forced into these direct negotiations with Israel, which has been kind of a taboo in Lebanon for many years. But they've been forced into that, and they're kind of negotiating under fire, quite literally. They're weak economically, they're weak politically, and they're weak militarily. To your point, they do not have the firepower that Hezbollah has. This is indeed part of the problem, and this is one of the Israeli objectives. It's to further weaken Lebanon and other states in the region, so that Israel can establish itself as this sort of regional hegemon.
Mm-hmm. Professor Mohamad Elmasry, great to get your analysis. Very much appreciate your time. Thank you.